Hi, I'm going to talk to you about fake news. Fake news is information that is given as if it were factual information, but is misleading, partially untrue, or completely false. Fake news has been around ever since they started printing paper. I mean, have you seen the tabloid? Hillary Clinton adopts an alien baby? And don't even get me started on Bat Boy. But since the rise of social media, fake news has become a bigger problem. The reason it's become as big as a problem as it is now is because anyone can post anything at any time and have millions of people see it. And as more and more people rely on social media as a source of information or news, you can kind of see how that's a problem. Now remember, just because somebody says something is true, that doesn't mean that it's always true. Just like if somebody says something is fake, that doesn't always mean it's fake. The responsibility of determining what is fake and true is up to you. Now I'm going to give you some strategies on how to tell what is fake and what is real. The first strategy on how to tell if something is fake or true is to read beyond the headline. Headlines are intended to catch the reader's attention and may not accurately reflect what is in the article. I mean, have you seen YouTube videos? For example, if you look at this headline, it says right here that astronomers find possible signs of life on Venus. Now you can kind of see how I could take this as we have found life on Venus and there are aliens now. But if you read further down, the article is just saying that there is a molecule in Venus's atmosphere that means that there could be life on Venus, not that there is. Another strategy that can help you know what is true and what is fake is considering the source. I wouldn't walk up to a McDonald's employee and ask, hey, is this mold cancerous? Because they don't have any expertise in cancerous molds. So why would you go up to a random person on YouTube and take advice from them? Wait a minute. One way of telling where your information is coming from are URL domains. URLs that end with the .gov ending mean that they come from the government, whereas URLs with the .edu URL domain come from accredited educational institutes. But URL domains like .com and .org are coming from basically anyone. One of the biggest ways to tell if something is fake or true is if they cite their sources with links. For example, if I were to make an article that was claiming that CNN said all this stuff in an article that they wrote, but I didn't provide links to this article that they wrote, how would you guys know that CNN actually said that stuff? Also, it's helpful to click on the links to see if they're real or if they actually are saying what the article is saying. I'll be providing links in the description below of the sources that I used for this video. The next strategy to determine if something is fake is to ask yourself, what is the author's bias? Everybody has some amount of bias. I am biased in saying green is the best color in the world, obviously. But what we need to ask ourselves is, what does the author gain? For example, do they gain money, influence, subscribers? Subscribe down to the channel below. And these are things that can drive people to make fake news. One thing to consider is how objective is the article. This means, is the article just presenting facts to you and letting you make your own conclusion, or are they making a conclusion for you? The next thing to do is examine the evidence. Many articles give visual representations of data, otherwise known as graphs. The best way to determine if a graph is fake is to look at the axes or look at the points. For example, if they have missing data, or if their data doesn't line up with the axes they just set up. Now we're going to take a look at a few examples of bad graphs. Take a look at this graph here. Now, if you look at this graph, you might not think there's anything wrong with it. But if you look closely at the very end, 8.6 is in the same line as 9.0. Here's the graph adjusted to what it actually looks like. It's a very big difference. Now take a look at this pie graph. Pie graph should add up to 100%, but for some reason this pie graph adds up to 193. I'd love to take a bite of that pie. And now look at this one. Wait, I'm confused. What were the options again? One thing to watch out for are statements like health officials claim or scientists say, because these aren't proper evidence unless they provide sources with proper links. I hope you guys had a great time learning about fake news, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.